Hello YouTube, I'm coming at you today with another reason why you should be staying natural, and that is to be a good role model. Whether we want it or not, we influence people with our existence in life. And I can tell you that there are people that look up to you, there are people who might be following your example, whether you know it or not. And the difficulty with this is that we don't necessarily want those people to follow us, but it is, I believe, our duty to try and emulate them in a way that is going to be beneficial for them in the long run. That's something that I'm trying to do with this channel. And this is also the reason why I personally chose to stay natural. It's one of the big reasons. Is because if I'm going to tell people to do something, or if I'm going to be doing something myself that is going to encourage people to follow in my footsteps, I want it to be something that is going to be good. And I don't think anyone could argue that doing PEDs is just objectively bad for your health. It's bad for your finances because it's expensive. And overall, it's not something that could be considered advisable for anyone, especially young men. The issue is that that's every single influencer on Instagram or YouTube Fitness. That's all there is to see. And these are the most available and visible role models for these young men. And that leads to a plethora of issues because those people are not relatable. And I think that if you follow the scene long enough, you realize that there is a world of difference between naturals and people who are on PEDs. And it goes beyond the fact that people on PEDs are, of course, bigger and more shredded, etc., etc. It's also that, in my opinion, their training advice barely applies because they themselves couldn't get big naturally, so why would they be giving advices to naturals? Their diets don't necessarily apply either because so many of the compounds they take actually help them lose fat without really doing any efforts. Some of their diets just cut the fats completely, which for naturals is just going to result in a complete crash of your testosterone level. Across the board, you're going to basically find that the majority of channels and individuals giving advice on YouTube Fitness shouldn't, because they are talking to an audience that is not going to benefit from it. And that audience is never going to really realize it. Why? Because they're so captured and raptured by the presence and the charisma of that person. And that is a trap that, in my opinion, is the reason why we have the fitness culture we have nowadays, where you would be thinking that, especially in America, after decades of bodybuilding culture, especially right now with YouTube Fitness just giving free info to everyone, we would have a lot of people, a lot of young men who are pushing the limits of what it means to be muscular naturally. And yet I see the exact opposite. I see people who get smaller. I see people who get more discouraged as well, when that shouldn't be the case, right? We have many people who actually made it, who are big. It should be influential. So why is the black pill mentality so prevalent? Why are people more and more desperate? Why is the natural limit considered something mainstream nowadays? And why is it that most people say that in 2 years you're going to be done, your natty gains are done? Well, the reason is because of that. It's because of the role models that are available to me, to you, and to everyone who are potentially looking for someone to follow, because I personally didn't have that, at least not in a realistic form. My role models were fictional, but I can completely understand that mindset. If you're young, especially if you're skinny, small, if you're obese, you're looking up for someone who might look like you and who made it. And you will be able to find them because there are multiple profiles on YouTube Fitness. The issue is that if they made it using PEDs, but they don't disclose it, what is it going to do to you? Because you're going to follow their advice, but their advice didn't get them where they are. It's the juice. So that creates a discrepancy, that creates that disconnection that discourages so many people. And I do think that in terms of morals, in terms of values and virtue, it's also going to be something that for you is going to be beneficial, because when you get there being natural, you know the price that you had to pay, you know what it costs. And I do think that people who have that experience are special in a sense. Not necessarily because they accomplish something that is incredible. In my opinion, everyone can get a good body naturally. It's not something that is based on genetics. It's not something that is based on some God-given talent. To an extent, we can all get jacked. What is going to be impressive about this is rather the ability to inspire others, because if you've done it without drugs, just by staying natural, then it also means that for the people who are coming afterwards, you open the path. The path was always open. It's not like you broke some barrier, but by doing it, you showed to others that it was possible. And the thing, and I'm going to leave you with that, but the issue with fake natties, and the reason why I personally resent them so much, is because they did that too. They showed that the path was open. They showed that there was a possibility. But the issue is that when they get caught, when they get exposed, when they get sick and they lose all their gains, their followers realize that they've been duped. And what does it do? They lose their love for that person, but they also lose the love for the practice that that person taught and practiced and preached, which is, for the most part, bodybuilding. This is the reason why bodybuilding has a terrible reputation. It's earned. Those people made it so. It was made toxic by these people. It was poisoned. But if you look back in the 50s, that's not what bodybuilding was. Bodybuilding was about health. It was about developing a body as close to the gods as possible. And we lost that. We lost that to the drugs. We lost that to marketing, to supplement companies, to stupid programs. And this needs to be claimed. We need to take it back. But the only way we'll take it back is if we have role models, if we have natural lifters who can actually show the way, explain their methods, and that overall shine. Because if someone shines, it tells you that you can shine as well. So this is it for this reason why you should be staying natural. Do it for you, do it for others. Think about your little brothers that are going to be coming afterwards that will have that standard, that will have that thing that they can look up to. This to me is of the utmost importance. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.